And it's now on screen in the top center. The player I'm predicting to go 0-3 this group, but Artosis thinks he can do it. It's DRG. And in the center left starting position, he's been dominating. He's been called, excuse me, the Obama toss and the Kratos Protoss. I'm really bad at doing this intro. He is MC. Right, we barely made it through that.
Yeah, well, it's all right, Tasteless, you did it, and that's what counts.
That's what counts.
All right, so expect the same thing out of DRG. The 3 bases, no gas. MC, a little bit harder to figure out exactly what he's going to be going for. You know, this is a map that he can do all sorts of things on. It's definitely a map where he can take a quick third. It's also definitely a map that he can try a timing attack on. So we're going to have to wait and see. That he's been mixing it up quite well so far.
Yeah. Well, the probe now going inside the base. The probe wants to see, you're going to go to spawning pool first, you're going to go hatchery first. Zerg don't really have a ton of options early on as far as what they can do.
Yeah, you know,
they can't build in a lot of different places because they have to be on creep. They can't. They don't have a there's a pretty set out pattern for how you play Zerg for the first, 10, 15, even 20 minutes.
Yeah, and if you don't get a quick gas, that's it. I mean, and DRG just never does that. He wants that economy, wants those drones, and we almost never see any aggression from him. But, I mean, with that being said, I'd love to see him, as he cleans up the probe that's been scouting him, maybe throw down some gases, maybe try one of these cheese builds. You know, he may be the best Zerg in the world, but to win many championships, you have to really vary your play quite a bit.
All right, run drone. All right, he got away safe. An annoying moment for DRG. DRG really wants to put pylon dropped. He really wants to get a hatchery there, and MC is going to do everything in his power to stop him, even making a pylon in that location. This could occasionally force a Zerg to go on to 3 bases no matter what, because he has to get his hatchery somewhere. Oh, no.
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 How could this be? Okay,
all right,
he gets
all right,
it.
It's fine.
I'd have loved to see a pylon there, though, I have to say.
Yeah, I know.
I'd have loved that more
then
than
he takes
anything.
he goes back to try to get the, he's going to try to take a 3rd base somewhere else. But then there's a 3rd pylon planted. I'm like, I don't know, guys.
He's getting all his supply from pylons around the map.
Zerglings are going to come out, and he's going to be really supply blocked. I don't know how this game's going to turn out, but...
Well,
all right.
Well, that's true. There's also a lot of warping locations. Some
that's
of them
right.
not so good. You
That's
know, the
right.
bottom right main, maybe not the best place to do a timing attack from.
Wow. This is like the sickest strategy for him discussion right now. Okay. So the pylon's been destroyed. It's no longer occupying that location, so DRG is free to put a hatchery down there, and he will. Obviously, DRG, I don't think this is going to rock his boat too much, since he's basically always getting about 3 bases at this point in time anyways.
Yeah, it's just standard for DRG. He's dealt with exactly this a majillion times, and we'll be fine with it. Now, MC, that's the guy we're going to watch. His cybernetics core still on the way. Obviously, still just on 2 gases, because his opponent did not get gas yet. Doesn't need any sentries or anything like that. And based upon the way his Wallen is made, if we could take a quick look at the Wallen of Protoss, it really looks like he wants to go for a quick 3rd. That has to be my guess here, as that's a pretty tight wall. And, I mean, what are you going to do? Kill the pylon? Well, yeah, you can kill the pylon and just leave with this Zealot, but sitting him back there, it definitely could be a quick 3rd again for MC, and not a terrible map for it either.
All right. Now, MC does not have vision, as ZBC just showed us, of the natural expansion being taken, but MC will just assume that that's the case. There's no, there generally are not, 2-base Zerg strategies where you have your other base in an obscure location.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. So he knows that it's 3-base. He can play completely as if that is a fact. And he is adding some gates. Chrono boosting out that warp gate upgrade. No +1 attack, though. And no other tech yet. So just now starting that +1 attack. Okay, so, I mean, my guess here is probably a Robo. But I'm not sure exactly which build he wants to do at this moment.
All right, well, both players now taking, going up to 4 gases. And yeah, I mean, these are very orthodox builds by both of these players. There's nothing extraordinary or abnormal that we can point out right now. And we have the Roach Warren being planted now, Evolution Chamber. This game looks like it's probably going to be one of your standard long PDZ.
Well, notice he did put that second cannon up, and that's going to allow him to kill these rocks and not be too afraid of things like Zergling run-bys. If he had killed them and not had that second cannon there, then that would have been really funny. Now, we do have that Robo on the way, as mentioned previously. 4 gates already out. Now, will we see Immortals popping out of this gate? That's what I'm interested in. I'm not completely sure yet still. Notice that he is getting a lot of Zealots, and that +1 is coming, so he has all his Zealots countered. It's the Roaches he has to be scared of. So we'll see how he actually wants to go about countering that. Right. Now, the Roaches are finally in production, as well as some Spines, so he's getting ready for this attack by MC.
Now, MC is going to be very careful while he's on the map right now, because if he loses those sentries, you've been knocked back into the Stone Age. I mean, he's going to have to rebuild that. It messes with his tech in the late game. So when you're applying pressure like this, you got to be very, very, very careful. Oh, and a Warp Prism coming here as well.
Not just a Warp Prism, but a Robotics Bay. Kind of old school meets new school as far as Protoss versus Zerg goes. We don't normally see 2-base Colossus anymore. As you know, there's a lot of builds that are very good against it, such as Quake Mutalisks. So if DRG actually were to throw down a Spire right this second, things would be looking pretty decent for him, as just tons of Zealots are continuing to be put in.
All right, he's still moving out, kind of just keeping the Zerg on his toes. A lot of Protoss and Terran players will do this. They'll kind of half-heartedly push out, then go back, because it can force the Zerg to stop making drones. We all know that DRG loves to make drones, so this is a great way for this to interfere with it. Now he's moving out here. 113 supplied to 124. That's about where they should be at this point in time in the game. Zerg starts to get ahead.
Tasteless. He's going to go to force field the ramp.
Okay, watch and learn, everybody. He'll block the ramp.
This is so powerful. MC with a very tricky build. This is why we couldn't figure it out before, because this is not the build order for a build like this. So this is going to be something that has already confused his opponent. Look at that.
He cool. Look at that. It's placed perfectly. Yeah. So we can elevate them up there so quickly. So oh, man.
And so DRG's main base most likely just going to die here. We do have Colossi at his home as he gets counterattacked by a ton of Roaches. Some force fields did go up.
He's going to completely hold this.
Yep, he's going to hold that just fine. And, I mean, it looks like it is going to be
I love this strategy.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Very interesting. He really altered the timings for force fielding the ramp there so drastically that even when we could see the whole map, it did not occur that was happening until he started the Warp Prism. So, interesting strat. What do you guys think over there?
You know, I've got this pain right here in my heart, because that hurts to watch really bad. I mean, it was just so magically performed by MC. Yeah. It was really, really nice. Grubby, what do you have to say about it? You're probably stoked as a Protoss player. Like, it hurts a Zerg, man. It hurts a Zerg to see that go down like that.
I'm glad I can bring some balance to the force here. I mean, I've got Tasteless, but there's a lot of Zerg love going on here.
You predicted DRG to win, Grubby. I just wanted to remind you of that.
Okay, let's talk about the game.
All right.
Basically, I can't 100% get a handle on this game, and I feel like probably a lot of people feel the same. I'm going to try to lift the curtain up a little bit about a few things, but a few things have to be left unsaid as well. I'll start with the unsaid things. For example, MC at this point was still on 4 gates. 2 base, let me just check, 56 probes, so a very good economy on 2 base, but he didn't actually add more gateways yet. So I feel like the strategy, I know MC prepares very well, but was it an improvisation? Was it just a spur of the moment idea? Because I would have expected him to add either a Nexus or more gateways. That component wasn't there, so his money was already quite high, 600-700, and it might have skyrocketed more. However, that's pretty small things. More importantly, it was how perfectly he was going to execute this maneuver, elevatoring stuff up with the warpism. And there were a few elements which I can hopefully explain to you, which were important. For example, he warped in no stalker at all until roughly the, let's say, 10, 12-minute mark. It was just pure zealots and sentries.
Yeah.
And the way he did it, it looked a little bit like he might be hitting hard. And that's actually what I was predicting privately here with DJ Wheat. It was something like go from 4 gate, you get your units out because you can't actually afford a lot of gates while keeping up production that early. And then add a whole bunch more gateways, like 6 total, 7 total, 8 total, something like that. And then hit hard. And I believe posturing there on the map with his sentries and zealots was crucially important to keep the Zerg honest. So the Zerg could go for 3 hatcheries, skip roaches entirely, make a ton of drones, go straight for mutalisks, and the build that MC was doing would be shut down in a million different ways then. I mean, he has no anti-air. He's going Colossus. He's relying on force fielding the ramp. Because he did that, he showed that army there. I believe that's why Dongraegu had to play honest. And playing against an honest opponent was exactly what MC wanted. He then abused it with that move, and that's why it was so beautiful in the end.
Yeah, I was just blown away by how cool that strat was.
Yeah.
I also want to point out just how precise you have to be to have your warp prism over the high ground and the low ground, so you can actually just elevator huge armies like that up there. We've seen strategies like that where you're going to use the warp prism, drop off 4 sentries, and then you just start warping in zealots and try to, eventually overrun them. But that was like a super warp prism strat.
Yeah,
I'm very articulate.
Well,
so what are your thoughts, Artosis?
Tasos, my thoughts are that was really weird. As Grubby said, it seemed a bit inefficient. Yeah. It was some mind games definitely in there because of the weird timings of a build like that. If you're going to force the ramp, and normally it comes a lot earlier than that. Normally it looks slightly different than that. So just an interesting game, but next ones should be good too. It's going to be Heart against Parting, and we will be back quite soon with that.